During Electrify Expo, I got the opportunity to check out and test drive the new Cadillac Vistiq. And now that I have, I can say I've learned two very important new things. One is just how helpful four-wheel steering really can be. And two, why Cadillac exists and not only exists, but may be the future of GM. Curious? Well, let's talk about it right now. Hi, this is Rich, and welcome to Wings, Wheels, and Wires. When it comes to the battle for best three-row electric SUV, in my opinion, there's already a clear winner, and that is the Lucid Gravity. I'll put links for videos I've done on that vehicle up here during the time I'm talking. That being said, the Gravity is not for everyone. For example, what if you want a vehicle by a legacy manufacturer and don't trust startup companies? On one hand, Lucid has been successfully selling the Lucid Air sedan for a few years now, and their investors do have deep pockets. But on the other hand, they are losing a ton of money every quarter, and people might be a little anxious about buying a car from a startup company after what happened with Fisker and the Fisker Ocean. Another reason why you might not choose the Lucid Gravity is because you can't wait the unknown number of months until you might actually get one delivered, especially if you're trying to squeeze in to get the EV tax credit before it runs out on September 30th. Check out this video on how to get the best deal on a new EV, by the way. There might be other reasons I just haven't thought of, but in any case, if you're looking for an alternative to the Gravity, the Cadillac Vistiq is the best option I have seen so far. Let's see what it offers, starting with the stats. It supposedly starts at $77,395. Now, I have no clue how they got that, though, because when I go to the build and price page, the cheapest version they have is the luxury, which starts at $79,090. Their next cheapest tier is the sport trim level, which comes in at $79,590. The good news is both of these trim levels squeak in below the $80,000 price limit for the tax credit, as long as you don't add any options. The good news there, though, is that the third row comes standard, so you don't have to pay extra for it like you have to with some other companies. So what do you get for that price? Well, let's start with a range of 305 miles thanks to its 102 kilowatt battery. For road trips, you can expect 190 kilowatt DC fast charging, which is certainly not the fastest on the market, but it is pretty much on par with the rest of its legacy competition. Also, you get bi-directional charging, which I think is a big plus, and there's a lot of manufacturers that lack that. Inside, this EV has some great creature comforts, starting with the 23-speaker AKG studio audio sound system with Dolby Atmos. And this is available even on their cheapest model. Now, 23 speakers is a ridiculous number of speakers, but they do put them in some pretty cool places, like in the headrest, which makes for a very immersive sound system, even more so than what you would be able to get on the Gravity.
If you are enjoying this video, please hit that like button down below. While you're down there, hitting the subscribe button would greatly support the channel. And, of course, don't forget to hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And stand by to the end of the video to hear my new subscriber shoutouts.
As a side note here, I'm not some kind of audiophile that knows a whole lot about this. I couldn't tell you the frequency range of a speaker just by looking at it or something. So things like AKG Studio Audio and Dolby Atmos are kind of wasted on me. I do generally know that more speakers is probably better. So 23 speakers sounds like a good thing. But when you do cool things with those speakers, like put them in the headrest, this I actually find impressive and useful. Though I have to admit, it's probably a lot less useful in an electric enclosed SUV than it would have been in my gas-powered BMW Z3 convertible with the top down at 80 miles an hour. For looks and comfort, you have a 3-zone, 126-color ambient LED lighting system. As for the seats, they are notably less inspired than the seats in the Gravity. They actually look like upgraded, nice airplane seats. That being said, though, they are comfortable and they are supportive. There's plenty of legroom throughout the 3 rows, and while the third row experience is pretty basic, as with most third row SUVs, the first and second row experience is pretty nice. Moving on to the outside, the exterior design is okay. The reality of it is Cadillac for a few years now has had this very angular design to their vehicles, and it's not really to my taste. Some people may actually like it. I can say from my view, it does work, and I do like it on some vehicles like the Lyriq, but then on other vehicles like the Escalade, I really don't like it. Of course, the Vistiq being right in between those, it would make sense that its appearance would be halfway between those two appearances. That said, I do have to say I like the nose of the Vistiq. Most EVs look like the grille is an afterthought at best, and at worst, it's just plain ugly. The Vistiq has this crystal panel that looks almost like a acrylic picture of a regular gas vehicle grille. Now, is this the coolest front end out there? No, but it is certainly better than a whole lot of its competition. Now that I've covered my impressions of the walk around of the Vistiq, let's talk about what is my favorite feature, and that's the steering wheel. See, I've put in a lot of my videos how all these manufacturers, Tesla especially, but other manufacturers to a lesser degree, seem to be removing all the physical controls and put all the controls on a touchscreen in the middle. As much as I do not like this, it does come with some advantages. You see, traditional physical console controls require you to take your attention from the road down to the console. The problem is that these touchscreen displays, for example, Teslas, put the touchscreen controls in the same place. While you can do some operations from the wheel, they're mostly on this touchscreen that's in the same location, which still requires you to take your attention off the road. The Cadillac Vistiq has a very different approach. While you do still have a touchscreen very low that you do control some things, the vast majority of your controls are physical controls on the steering wheel. And then the display to reflect that these controls have been implemented, a lot of that is on the display that's above the steering wheel, which I think is really good for keeping your attention much closer to keeping it out the windshield where it should be. In theory, this should be a very effective solution. Of course, I'd have to use the vehicle long term to see if these controls are as innovative as they seem, or if they'd end up being more of an inconvenience than they're worth, say, for example, hitting them by accident while steering the vehicle. Now, at the beginning of the video, I talked about how I now understand why Cadillac exists and why it may even be the future of GM. In order to understand this, you have to understand what Cadillac is. It is an up-branded Chevy, the same way as Acura is an up-branded Honda, Lexus is an up-branded Toyota, and Infiniti is an up-branded Nissan. You see, in all of these cases, the vehicle, drivetrain, and everything is fundamentally the same. The thing that varies is the finishes. And in more recent years, I would say for those other brands, the gap in finishes has been getting narrower and they start coming closer and closer to being equal. In the case of Chevy versus Cadillac, I believe that gap is very large. In my opinion, Chevy has some of the cheapest looking and feeling interiors on the market. They seriously overuse hard plastics and plastics in general in their interiors. A really good example of how this has affected them is in the cancellation of the Chevy Malibu. Now, there were a few reasons why it was canceled, but be absolutely sure that one of the reasons was the multiple complaints about the interior quality. Now, there is a use case for this because using cheaper materials lowers production cost, and Lord knows we need more low cost EVs. But the car market is becoming ever increasingly competitive. And as it becomes even more competitive, I believe people's tolerances for low quality interiors is going to reduce. Now let's talk about the drive. It was comfortable and responsive, as you would expect with an electric vehicle. The four-wheel steering was really nice. There's actually, on the test route, there's actually this really sharp curve, basically a U-turn, that you have to do to get into the pit area. When I drove the Rivian R1T, I could not make that turn. I actually had to end up doing a three-point turn in order to make it. I did not have to do that with the Vistiq. It took that turn, no problems. Though, to be fair, the R1T is about 12 inches longer than the Vistiq, so there is that part. About the only real complaint I had isn't even really a complaint. You see, the Vistiq has a 0 to 60 of 3.7 seconds, which is impressive, but it doesn't feel that impressive when you're driving it. Now, admittedly, part of this was because the company rep that was sitting in the car with me insisted on me not really pushing the car that hard. But the other part of it was, I think, very similar to the experience that I had with the Lucid Air. And that is that it's so smooth and fluid, you don't feel the acceleration as much as you really are moving faster. This would be compared, for example, to my BMW i3, which actually accelerates much slower than the Vistiq, but is still more fun to drive. But this is a pretty forgivable difference for a 205-inch, 7-seat, 6,236-pound SUV. In this case, I would think that smooth and fluid is what you're actually looking for from such a big, heavy SUV. Now, in defense of the vehicle, they did not let me play with the different drive modes. I'm guessing in its sportiest mode, the driving dynamics are probably a lot more entertaining. In my last video, I posed a question: what is the other modern EREV besides the BMW i3? And we have a winner. It was Super Jewel 81, who answered correctly the Fisker Karma. Great job. One other thing that I had not covered anywhere else in the video, so I guess I'll throw it in here now, is the vehicle does not have a front, which is pretty disappointing for me. Now, in a moment, I'm going to show the actual video of my test drive. But before I do, I'd love to hear from you down in the comment section below. Do you think that this is a good alternative to the Lucid Gravity? Do you still like the Lucid Gravity better? Do you like this better? Or is there some other third row SUV that you think is better than both of these? I would love to hear why you think that that's the case down in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to stick around for my subscriber shout out and my recommended next video. All right, so let me adjust the mirrors. I like the fact that this thing actually has good old-fashioned mirror adjustments. The on-screen thing, I guess, is neat, but I don't like having to have a training course to adjust the mirrors. So
yeah, I'm not big on that either.
Yeah, and that is the
younger people are faster on that. They can. Oh, yeah. I mean, they're used to all the computer stuff. I'm not. I didn't grow up in the computer era.
Exactly. I'm like, good to go.
Towards you and down on this stock right there. Towards you and then down.
Okay.
And now we are in drive.
That's an interesting configuration.
Yeah. Well, that seems to be the way most of the GM cars are set up now. So.
All right. So
have you been on the course already?
Yeah, I did the Rivian R1T.
Okay, so you have a pretty a somewhat decent idea of what the track does. So I won't worry too much about where you're going. So briefly, some talking points that they gave us. Let's say. So for exterior on this vehicle, you can get 21, 22, or 23-inch wheels. Okay, you've got choreographed exterior lighting. You have a unique black crystal grille. I don't know if you saw the grille on this, but it looks pretty reminiscent to what you're seeing on the Lyriq, on the Escalade, on the Optique. It's kind of cool looking, the black crystal grille. It's a nice looking thing. Panoramic dual pane sunroof with the power sunshade. Now the third row is going to be static, fixed glass. Okay, but it's panoramic. Okay,
I like the fact that it has a cover. I'm not a big fan of glass roofs, actually.
Like Tesla, I was doing a show with Tesla last year, and that sunroof without a sunshade, it is virtually an oven in that car. I was in Dallas when it was August. It was outside temperature on the blacktop 117, and inside that Tesla Y, it was hot, even with the air conditioning full blast. Without a sunshade, it's brutal.
Yeah, my wife was a huge fan of the Model X, which would be kind of a competitor to this, right up until she sat in it. And right underneath those wonderful gull-wing doors, they have, you have glass on the side, right?
Right.
You even have glass on the top of the door.
Right.
Which seems ridiculous. And the minute she sat in there, she's like, I do not want anything to do with this.
Well, it is hot. It is very hot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's nice to have the glass available for,
it looks pretty. It looks pretty, and you can see out of it, but, one thing is the sun comes in it. Yeah. And it burns.
Yeah. In the winter, it's probably awesome, especially here in SoCal, but...
yeah, not in Michigan. I don't think I'd want to drive one of those in the winter in Michigan. Your battery life would probably not be that long.
I imagine not.
So some talking points about the interior. You've got, it's available with 7-passenger. The vehicle, as you see it today, is a 6-passenger. We have the captain's chairs, so it does come with 7. You've got a curved 33-inch diagonal advanced LED display. Now you have 126 color tri-zone ambient lighting. You can go into here and you can ambient lighting. You can play around and choose some lighting. Now, do I know if you can take pink and mix it with chartreuse? I don't know that. Okay, but you have 3 different styles you can choose from, and it's 126 colors. You got 5-zone automatic climate control in the vehicle, and an 18-way driver and passenger seat adjustability, and the driver's got memory seating. So that's interior talking points. Okay. Performance, estimated 300 miles of range. Some people are saying 305, 310, but to be safe, they're saying 300. Okay. 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds.
That's good.
That's with the Velocity Max. You've got 615 horsepower, 650 on the torque. Now, a cool feature is the active rear steering. Okay, I don't know if you've driven a lot of vehicles with rear steering. Have you ever done that before?
No.
Okay. I'll get back into the quadra steer after we do this turn. This is the area where you can actually step on a little bit after we make this turn.
Not during?
Pardon me?
Just kidding. No, I said not during.
And when we get through here, you can
like
step on it.
35.
Just see how it picks up fast. You've got
nice.
some pickup, but electric vehicles do, right?
Yeah,
They're all instant torque.
That's part of what I love about them. Actually, things I love about them is the instant torque. Also, I did a whole video on this. The consistent acceleration curve.
Yes, yeah. There's no shifting, right?
Exactly.
It's one speed transmission, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
We were talking about the rear steering. Now, years ago, they used to have something called quadra steer.
Right.
And I'd always have people asking, hey, Mark, what happened to quadra steer? It was an option you could get maybe 15, 20 years ago, but apparently it didn't go over very big. But I thought it was a cool thing. I mean, that your rear wheels turn in, right? And it really cuts down on your turning radius, right?
Yeah, for sure.
When we make our turn, we'll showcase that later.
Okay, yeah, I really want to check that out.
It is amazing. Yeah.
That would be very awesome.
And then you can actually you can change your driver's modes here. You can do a tow haul, touring, sport. So you can change your drive modes on this vehicle. You've got technology-wise Super Cruise. Not going to be applicable here because it's not a major road.
Right.
Okay. Your speaker, you got 23 speaker system.
Bad.
You have night vision with daytime functionality. You have augmented reality heads-up display. So that heads-up display you see in front of you there, it's a computer augmented.
Okay. Yeah.
So it helps. It fills in the gaps of what you're not seeing, or
Is it adjustable as far as location?
I believe it is. There's with wherever the buttons that you should be able to move it up and down. Most of the GM products you can move it up and down to get it better in your field of vision.
Yeah, because like right now when it's 5, I can only see like the bottom half loop of the 5. So I would hope it would be adjustable.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'd have to drive.
That
like
would
this.
be who wants to drive like that? You get a kink in your neck.
Yeah, exactly.
You have the one pedal driving and the regen on demand. I don't know if you're familiar with those.
I am. Is it adjustable regen?
Well, the regen on demand.
Okay.
It's a button. It's a paddle just on the back side of your your steering wheel.
Okay, right there.
Yeah, it'll slow you down.
Okay, so that's kind of like Kia. I think likes to do that.
Kia has that. Okay, yeah. Which is actually a pretty cool idea. Tesla did not have that.
No.
And I thought that's actually a pretty cool way of actually adding battery life, especially if you're going downhill or something. You can use that and slow yourself down
Instead of using brakes, for sure.
So safety features, you have HD surround vision, intersection automatic emergency braking, and side bicycle alert. Okay, so some of the cool things about it, Now we have a couple minutes. If there's anything that you want to say while you're driving, I'll be quiet for a while.
Oh, no. I mean, definitely, things I definitely notice is it does not feel like a big car. It steers well, handles well, which I like, especially the 7-seater. Got 7-seater. So that's nice. I definitely want to check out that 4-wheel steering.
Which we will. So we're going to do a U-turn up here. So when you go out, just turn your wheel all the way as hard as you can, and then just let it go. It's like a Hummer. Have you driven the Hummer?
I have not. That is next.
You're going to love the 4-wheel steer on the Hummer, too. For such a big vehicle, the turning radius is incredible.
This pole keeps making me nervous.
Yeah,
Somebody's going to mirror check that.
We saw that this morning.
Somebody mirror checking, or just saw?
No, we saw that. And we said the same thing. Someone's going to either hit a bumper, catch the mirror. Something's going to happen here.
And luckily, I think enough people will be paranoid. You probably won't get a full body hit, but you're gonna have some messed up.
Well, luckily we have right seaters in most of the vehicles. So when you've got a right seater, part of our job is to make sure that you don't do anything silly, right? Careful there, careful Kia. I don't think that Tesla is going to be able to make that turn, so they might be backing up.
No, it looks like he's gonna pull it out. Luckily,
I don't know that he can make that turn from there. No.
I think he's got it.
You think so?
I think so. As long as he, follows the same track.
He's got to come out here. He's coming.
He ain't making that.
He's coming.
I'm sorry. I thought he had to
go to the far lane.
Yeah. Well, from there he might.
No, he has to come over here.
No, he's got it.
Now he does.
Yeah.
Now that car's gone.
All right. Yeah.
So
here's our turn.
Yeah. Just cut the wheel all the way now. Cut it all the way. Cut it. Just kidding and hold it. We don't have any problem.
Yeah,
we made it with time to spare.
Yeah, especially I didn't take that particularly wide because I was really wanting to test that.
Sure.
I had driven another vehicle earlier, and I had to do a 3-point.
Yeah, that you had plenty of room on that.
Yeah, I like that 4-wheel steer. And so yeah, I like that. It's a pretty neat drive. I like it. I know I definitely like the looks of it. So for me, I think, and I'm not trying to puff y'all up here, but I think that Cadillac is GM's best chance. Because I think one of my problems with GM, with a lot of the other GM products, is the interior finishes are really cheap, in my opinion.
Okay.
But obviously, being the more luxury part of the brand, nice finishes. I like the materials.
What do you think of this? What do you think of the color, the blue interior?
I don't know that everyone would like it, but I like it. I like blue's my favorite color, so I really like that.
I think it's like 80-20 people like it.
Yeah, that's good.
Every person that comes in and says, don't see blue on very often as an interior color, but it really goes well with the gray or the maroon. So I'm very positive with it.
Yeah, and well, the thing I can say I really like about the interior in general is there's a lot of different tones. I've got wood tone here, black here, a nice silver here, blue, the gray denim, or like denim almost here.
Right.
I really like the colors a lot. It's quite a palette as opposed to, again, I hate to bash the regular GMs,
I understand.
but a lot of Chevys is like black or gray.
Dark grays and more plasticky.
Yeah.
But this is Cadillac. We're the top of the line of the General Motors brand. So yeah,
well, I think that's the one that's definitely going to help. Because again, for me, like even a Hummer, I was looking at the one you had a display in the front, and it's like the old school like 1970s floor vinyl is on the door, and I was like, love the vehicle, but the finishes aren't great. But on this, I really like the finishes.
Yeah, this is more luxury. That Hummer's a little bit more. I think that
utility.
You're going to be off-roading. You're going to be getting mud on it.
Yeah, you want something to clean easy.
Yeah, you don't want mud in this car. You want the.
No, I'm not taking this into mud.
Not mud. No.
No.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you for your time. Okay.
And now it's time for the subscriber shout-outs. If you'd like your own shout-out, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and either make sure your name is visible or put in the comments down below that you subscribed.
Hey, Junko. William Bill Gullissy. And Barry White. Thanks for subscribing.